to see so many wonderful faces in the audience tonight. This is your April edition of your Louisville Town Council. We are going out live tonight on Facebook. We are also live on our TV6 channel, and we are streaming worldwide to our soldiers overseas on the World Wide Web, LouisvilleNC.net. So glad you all could join us tonight. It's always a pleasure to greet our residents and have the opportunity to chat with you and hear what's on your mind as we move through your business of the Town Council. Our first order of business is our invocation, which will be led by Bo Hauff, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Sandra Mock. If you will please stand and join us if you're able.
Let us pray. God our Father, we come to you giving thanks for this beautiful day that you've given to us. It shows us your power and your glory. And we give you thanks for this town. We give you thanks for those who work with it, those who work for it, those who have been elected to lead it. Father, we give you special thanks tonight for your healing power over elected officials and staff this evening. We thank you for your continued healing. We ask you to continue to comfort them as they continue to get better and better. Now, Lord, as we go into this meeting, we ask your guidance over what is said and what is done and what is decided. And then following this meeting, please, Lord, take us all safely home. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As is the custom of our council at this particular time, we do our roll call with our introduction of council members.
Hi, Councilman Jeff Singer. Thank you for being here tonight.
Hi, I'm Ed Smith. Thanks for being here.
I'm Sandra Mock. Thank you for coming out tonight.
I'm Mike Horn.
Robert Green.
Good evening, Marcy Gallman.
And I'm Fred Franklin. It's a pleasure to serve. Thank you.
We also have with us our town manager, Hank Perkins, our town attorney, Bo Hauff. Bo, thank you for that invocation. Back on the camera tonight is the extraordinary cinematographer, George Hauser, our Public Works Director. I think we have Josh Harold here in the front row, which is our Public Works Director, Public Planning Director.
George doesn't have a job.
That's right, there will be. Okay, well, you'll fill in, right? Our town clerk, Ms. Joyce Walker, and our town finance director, Pam Orell. Thank you all for being here tonight. Folks, we have just a couple of changes on our agenda from our briefing. We'd like to move our two proclamations from our consent agenda down to our section on presentations. We have an addition. Hank, I believe you're going to talk to us about a paving contract under our new business. It would be J Paving. And Mrs. Walker, is there anything else that we've added since then?
No, that'll be all.
Okay, so it may be a tag team between Hank and George. You guys can decide when we get there who wants to do that. Very good. Hank, if you take us through the consent agenda, please. I'm sorry, may we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, that is unanimous. Now, Hank, thank you.
Tonight's consent agenda consists of 5 items. The first is Resolution 2018023 for the acceptance and approval of the monthly financials for February 2018. Next is the approval of council briefing and action minutes from March 1st, 2018. The approval of council meeting minutes from March 8th, 2018. And that concludes it. I was incorrect when I said 5.
Very good. Ms.
Motion.
Walker, we have a presentation for Parkinson's Awareness Month, and to accept that, Keith Lawson.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
You know, sometimes it's just allergies, drugs. They just
I
kind of.
understand.
You know,
Yeah, I'm taking them
I've got the
too.
troops on either side of me to keep me straight, so that's what we do here.
I'm taking them too.
Mr. Franklin makes a motion. Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. See, I caught you there. Any opposed? Thank you very much. The agenda is approved. Now we'll go to Keith Lawson, Tony Kane. How about come on up here? I think we've got a proclamation to give you on Parkinson's Awareness Month.
Correct. That's Proclamation 2018-002, Parkinson's Awareness Month, April 2018. Whereas Parkinson's disease is a chronic, progressive neurological disease and is the second most common neurodegenerative disease in the United States. And whereas Parkinson's disease is the 14th leading cause of death in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and over 1 million Americans are currently living with Parkinson's disease. And whereas research suggests the cause of Parkinson's disease is a combination of genetic and environmental factors, but the exact cause and progression of the disease is still unknown, and there is no objective test or biomarker for Parkinson's disease, and there is no cure or drug to slow or halt the progression of the disease. And whereas the symptoms of Parkinson's disease vary from person to person and can include tremors, slowness of movement and rigidity, difficulty with balance, swallowing, chewing, and speaking, cognitive impairment and dementia, mood disorders, and a variety of other non-motor symptoms. And whereas increased research, education, and community support services, such as those provided by the Parkinson's Foundation and other organizations, are needed to find more effective treatments and to provide access to quality care to those living with the disease today. And whereas volunteers, researchers, caregivers, and medical professionals are working to improve the quality of life of persons living with Parkinson's disease and their families, and to find more effective treatments for those living with the disease. And whereas the Parkinson's Foundation, with the help of a local volunteer committee, is hosting the Northwest Piedmont Region's inaugural Moving Day Walk for Parkinson's on April 28th, highlighting many regional Parkinson's disease resources and promoting exercises that help alleviate Parkinson's disease symptoms. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mike Horn, Mayor of the town of Louisville, North Carolina, that's him up there, do hereby proclaim the month of April in 2018 as Parkinson's Awareness Month, dated this 12th day of April 2018 for the Louisville Town Council.
Very good. Please let the minutes reflect that this presentation is made on behalf of all of our council members on the council. Tony, I'm going to give you this
Okay.
because I've been trained to give any paper to the woman present, whether it's a paycheck or a proclamation or whatever. So you have it. They don't trust me. Congratulations. Thank you very much for all the work that you do. It's an incredibly important mission that you are on, and there's a lot of our folks, many of us know folks who are affected by Parkinson's. And thank you for what you do, and thank you for trying to make their lives easier.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
George is on the machine.
He took-
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bless you.
That's that one.
Our second presentation is for Historic Preservation Month. That's almost like rigidity, but I'm glad you said rigidity much better than I would have. That's why you read these proclamations. So Michelle McCullough, Ambassador, Officer, but not Director of the Forsyth County Historical Preservation Commission, and I believe you're being joined by Mary Kay. Come on up. And Susan, come on up. Come on in here.
George got that one. Good.
Yeah, let's kind of move it.
I'll balance.
There we go. Ms. Walker, you're on.
Okay. Proclamation 2018-003, Historic Preservation Month, May 2018. Whereas the town of Louisville joins cities and counties across the United States in a nationwide celebration of Historic Preservation Month. And whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for economic development, tourism promotion, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for all communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for all neighborhoods and citizens all over the town of Louisville. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped us as a people. Whereas Historic Preservation Month is co-sponsored by the Forsyth County Historic Resources Commission and other local preservation and neighborhood organizations throughout Forsyth County. And whereas these organizations encourage members of the community to participate in creative and fun events related to historic preservation as a way to celebrate Preservation Month 2018. And whereas there are over 30 events scheduled in Forsyth County for citizens to attend. Now therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and town council in Louisville do hereby declare the month of May 2018 as Historic Preservation Month and call upon the people of Louisville to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. Be it further resolved that this proclamation be spread upon the minutes of the town of Louisville and that a copy be furnished to the Forsyth County Historic Resources Commission. Resolved and effective upon adoption this 12th day of April 2018 by and for the Louisville Town Council. Mayor Mike Horn.
Thank you.
That guy up there.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
That's the official one.
Thank you.
Mary Kay, I'm sure you have a shameless promotion that you want to
Oh,
talk about.
yes,
Okay,
shameless.
go ahead, go ahead.
We do want to tell everybody about our fun wine tasting coming up. It's a Shaliford wine tasting fundraiser, and it's going to be at the Shaliford Square on May 5th from 3 to 6. And we want all of you to come. We're going to have 7 wineries right there, and we'll have tastings. We'll have bottles of wine to sell, glasses to sell. We'll have food from Lowe's Foods. They're our co-sponsor. And we'll have music and a silent auction and a 50-50 raffle. So it should be a lot of fun. So do come out and tell your friends. We have flyers out there on the table. And we also, you want me to tell them about this?
You're approaching your 3 minutes.
Oh, the 3 minutes is over. Okay. Well, we got other things too.
You have something else you'd like to?
Real quick, there's a marker unveiling. We'll do it on May 26th for the Double Springs AME Zion Church site and cemetery. It'll be Williams Road and Double Spring Road. Invitations are on the back, but please spread the word. So.
And also, one other thing real quick. We've got a history of Louisville at the Louisville Library Monday night. That's the 16th at 6 o'clock. I'll be doing that, and also we'll have our books there for sale. So try to come to that.
Susan, could there possibly be anything you'd like to add? No, okay. Much for all you do. Historic preservation is important in Louisville. I hope everybody has had a chance to swing by and look at the preservation efforts that are going on with the Nissen House. If you haven't, please do it because they are doing a fantastic job. It's recapturing and preserving a part of Louisville that's a very, very important marker of who we were as a community during the 1800s? 1700s? 1800s. And 1876 to be even more exact. And it's back here on the corner of Arrowleaf and Lucy Lane. Very good. So please, if you have a chance, go by and look at it. Thank you, folks.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. You have a monumental presentation. Once a year you get to do this for our council.
Public Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Public forum first?
No,
Thank you, great. Thank you.
you're up, Hank.
Yep, I skipped it.
Honorable Mayor and Town Council, as Town Manager, I am pleased to present the proposed general fund budget of $4,572,281 for fiscal year 2018-2019. The budget is proposed includes maintaining the current tax rate of 17.7 cents per $100 evaluation. This budget shows an increase in the general fund budget from the previous year budget as adopted for July 1st, 2017 of $152,375 or 3.45%. This budget is proposed is balanced with $145,411 in fund balance from the general fund. This fund balance appropriation represents the costs associated with projects that are not recurring operational costs. The tax base for the town as of April 2nd, 2018 was $1,361,726,206, producing an estimated ad valorem tax revenue of $2,337,950, with 1 cent of the tax rate equaling approximately $132,088. The town of Louisville also collects a levy for a municipal service district. The current tax rate is 4.5 cents per $100 evaluation. The proposed tax rate for the municipal service district for fiscal year 2018-2019 is unchanged at 4.5 cents per $100 evaluation. Once again, in the face of a challenging economic environment, the Town Council has been diligent and used sound financial planning to continue its commitment to the citizens of Louisville to provide the highest standard of services. They have done this while maintaining a level of fund balance to secure future funding opportunities. The unassigned fund balance was $4,362,069 as of June 30, 2017. This represents a fund balance at approximately 95.4% based on the projected upcoming fiscal year budget for 2018-2019. As for other notable points for the economic outlook of the town, the North Carolina League of Municipalities is predicting increases in sales tax revenue in the state. They report that near-term economic projections are generally positive and consumer confidence in the economy is high. Based on current analysis, we're projecting a 2.5% increase in sales tax for the town. Town services. The town of Louisville stays committed to the continuation of all of its existing services for the upcoming fiscal year, to include Parks and Recreation, Finance, Administration, Planning and Zoning, Public Works, Residential Garbage and Recycling, Stormwater Management, Community Policing, and Beautification. All services are proposed to continue at current service levels for the upcoming fiscal year, with the exception that the town will assume maintenance and care of the perennial garden and other landscaped areas at Jack Warren Park that were previously maintained by volunteers. The town has 4 capital reserve funds. Currently, annual appropriations to these funds total $415,000. At the Town Council Capital Planning Retreat recently held on January 20th, Council reaffirmed its desire to proactively support the development of the downtown area and road and sidewalk improvements throughout the town, as well as its desire to develop future capital facilities such as a new community center. During fiscal year 2017-2018, the Town Council learned that the North Carolina Department of Transportation plans to assume financial responsibility for the remaining work to be done on the Great Wagon Road, to include design, right-of-way acquisition, and construction. Thus, we are proposing a $10,000 decrease in the annual appropriation to the Great Wagon Road right-of-way construction capital reserve fund. This decrease allows us to fund annual maintenance work needed for the perennial garden at Jack Warren Park, as described under Town Services above. As construction on the Great Wagon Road progresses, we anticipate that the town of Louisville will participate financially with the North Carolina Department of Transportation on enhancements such as sidewalks, trees, and streetlights. Funding for all capital reserves is proposed to be changed as follows. Stormwater capital reserves, currently $95,000, is proposed at $95,000. GWR right-of-way construction capital reserve, currently at $125,000, is proposed decrease by $10,000 to $115,000. Sidewalks, bike paths, greenways, capital reserve, currently being funded at $25,000 a year, is being recommended to continue at $25,000 a year. And lastly, municipal buildings, land, capital reserve, currently at $170,000 a year, is also recommended to continue at $170,000 a year, bringing the total for the proposed capital reserves for this upcoming fiscal year to $405,000. The capital projects that remain on the budget during the fiscal year 2018-2019 are as follows. Active projects are Great Wagon Road, right-of-way and construction, and our Gateway project. Non-active projects are the Jack Warren Park Maintenance Facility and Playground Expansion. The town will continue design work on the Gateway project for the upcoming fiscal year, with right-of-way and construction work planned in future years. This project is a roadway project to make improvements from Highway 421 interchange on Williams Road, with improvements continuing on Williams Road between the interchange and the newly constructed roundabout at Shalford Road and Williams Road. This project, utilizing federal STPDA funds, it does use that. This project has an estimated cost of approximately $1.5 million. The project will be paid with 80% of its expected cost coming from federal aid, with a 20% match from the town. The town's contribution is expected to be approximately $298,936. The town also has been approved for CMAQ, Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality funds. This project is to extend the sidewalk along Louisville-Clemens Road from Jack Warren Park to Leon's Way. The project will be paid for with 80% of the expected costs coming from federal aid, with 20% match from the town. The total cost of the project is estimated at $726,645, which includes the town's participation at $145,329. The town also has been awarded funding for another CMAQ project to extend the sidewalk along Louisville-Vienna Road from Riverwood Drive to Robin Hood Road. As with the other sidewalk project mentioned above, this project will be paid with 80% of the expected cost coming from federal aid, with 20% match from the town. The total cost of the project is estimated at $1,234,411, which includes the town's participation of $246,882. In recent months, the Planning Board, working with staff and the Town Council, has completed a planning process that has resulted in the presentation and acceptance by Council of the Northeast Area Plan. This plan has been years in the development ahead of a new public middle school in the vicinity of the intersection of Louisville-Vienna and Robin Hood Road. This new school is anticipated to have a significant impact on the growth and development of the northeast area of town. This plan will serve as a template or guide to help plan and guide future development and transportation activities in this area. Now that this has been completed, the Planning Board and staff desire to engage in work related to 3 core project areas. The first area would be preliminary work ahead of the town's next 5-year comprehensive plan update. The second area would be to develop a small area plan for the downtown. This is seen as especially important in anticipation of the construction of the Great Wagon Road project that is scheduled to begin inside the next 5 years. The final area of work would provide what they feel is significant enhancements to Louisville's Unified Development Ordinance. It is envisioned that all of this proposed work, once it's completed, would go to improve the overall land development processes for the town. The budget contains proposed funding to support and to facilitate this work. In conclusion, this budget reflects the desire of council to address the needs of the town while being cognizant of economic conditions. Choices made and expenditures were done to meet the priorities and the goals of the council established during the year with the assistance of numerous advisory boards and committees. During the next few weeks, the council will meet to deliberate the proposal set forth and make adjustments as needed. I would like to thank the staff for their assistance with the development of this budget and the town council for their continued guidance and support. Final adoption of this budget will be scheduled for the council meeting in June. If I may be of any assistance, please feel free to contact me. Sincerely, William H. Perkins, Town Manager.
Thank you, Hank. We'll accept this budget, and we'll begin looking at it over the next 6-8 weeks. Ms. Walker, our budget workshops will be on our website. Are there dates?
They are, I think they're already there.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to attend any of our budget workshops, please check our website, and you're always invited to attend, see how we go about spending your money, I hope wisely and efficiently, and to the betterment of the town and our residents. Thank you, Hank. Thank you, staff, for this presentation. Council? Yes, sir.
Mayor, when, to direct it to the staff, when will we, as council members, get your presentation you just give us and also the budget? Will we get it before the 16th?
That
of
will be
April?
delivered to you tomorrow by email.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
Very good. Our next order of business is our public forum. This is an opportunity for those of you in the audience who would like to address the council on matters that are of interest or importance to you. It's our opportunity to listen to you and hear what you have to say. If you are here to speak on the public hearing for the zoning jurisdiction change for Twin Oaks, please hold your comments to that public hearing. But if you'd like to speak to the council on anything else at this time, Rachel Thomas, I forgot to acknowledge you in the beginning. You're here from Reagan High School for your civics class, and take copious notes because at the end of the council meeting, we ask you to make a short presentation on what you've heard and your impressions. So we look forward to hearing from you. Anybody wish to speak? If you do so, please come forward. I have one person that signed up, Ryan Reedy. If you'll come forward, state your name and address, and hold your comments to 3 minutes, if you would.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Reedy from 155 SL Lane, and I just want to thank all you council members for approving the LD1 special use on December 14th. And I want to thank Josh for literally the hundreds of, if not thousands of phone calls that I made to him regarding the process that I'm going through to complete it for the town under the deadline that was set by the town. And just want to let everyone know, and I provided him with documentation on the processes and the peoples that I've spoken with to accomplish the task. And all of those individuals have the times and the dates and the waiting time periods between all the individuals that I've had to work with the structural civil engineers, all the different people that I'm involved with. And I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that I'm working as hard as to obtain those goals that you have set for me as an individual, and I want to be able to honor the principles of being able to afford what I'm able to accomplish with the property rather than spending money that's not actually mine, which I recommend all the people in the room to base their lives on that principle. If you're going to purchase something for your property or any business that you actually have or anything in general, you should always honor the principle that if you have the money to afford it, then that's when you should get it rather than spending money that's not actually yours. And just wanted to share that with everyone here, and just wanted to let you guys know that I'm working very hard to accomplish those goals for you. Thank you.
Mr. Reedy. Anyone else wish to speak at this time?
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Before we close this public forum, I'd just like to ask you if we're planning to allow the public to speak when we get to 9C.
Yeah, they're to do that now. This is during the public forum, so this is the time that they would speak.
That's the reason I wanted to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Good afternoon, Councilman, Council. I'm grateful to be here this afternoon.
Please state your name and address, would you please?
Walter Hardwick, 1207 Ridgecrest, Louisville. I am the store manager of the Lowe's Foods here in Louisville. I've been the store manager of the Louisville Lowe's Foods for 6 years now. It's a very unique situation for me because it's not often that a store manager is able to be a store manager in his community. So that makes it awfully special for me. So I'm talking to my neighbors and my family right now. There's a lot of controversy, some controversy about this bill, this Bunch bill. I had a long speech written out, got it right here. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you from the bottom of my heart what I'm trying to accomplish for Lowe's Foods and the goals that I have to achieve. I have to achieve a certain amount or level of business. I committed in doing that. That includes alcohol sales. On Sundays, 20 to 23% of my business is on Sundays. And it'll increase even more as it gets warmer. Now, living here, as long as I've been living here, I understand that this is a really diverse community. There are all different types of religions that live here, all different types of people that live here, all different types, all people from all over the world. People worship different times, different ways. My personal opinion, shifting this doesn't do anything to increase my business, but it helps me serve my guests better. It gives them an opportunity to not go out of this area to try to buy their beer and wine. We're surrounded by this law being passed. Even Yadkinville, North Carolina, of all places, has passed this bill. Clemens just recently passed this on Monday. What had happened is, and I'm speaking for all retailers for right now, Food Lion, all the convenience stores, people will go outside of this jurisdiction and take their business there because they know they can get that beer or wine at that particular time. I'm not saying that we're going to lose any business, but it'd be inconvenient for the people who would want to buy it when they know they can buy it at a certain time. Also, I want to tell you that we have an e-commerce business. We call it Lowe's Foods to Go. We are continually increasing business there. That's our fastest growing part of our business. And on top of it being our best day for sales, total store, it's our best day for Lowe's Foods to Go business also. As we continue to grow that business, we're increasing slots. Right now, when somebody buys beer or wine on Sunday and use that business, we cannot shop that until 12 p.m. Some of our shops are $200 and $300 at a time. We committed into making sure that guests get their things on time. That's holding us back from doing that. If we could just ring it up at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. That means when we start our first slot, we can service more people. I hope y'all take all that in consideration. I'm just trying to run a business. I'm responsible for 109 people at that store. Sales is oxygen for our business. A penny is the king. Everything counts when it comes to the grocery business. Every little penny. It's very important that we can capture whatever we can. We cannot lose sales as a result of this bill. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else here this evening wish to speak? Yes, sir.
My name's Pete, store manager at the Food Line in Louisville. I just want to speak on,
Get into the mic for me,
And
please.
give us your last name too, Pete.
last name's Duff, Pete Duff, 6810 Shallowford Road's the address for the Food Line. I just want to talk about the same thing Walter did. I don't have the same speech prepared that he did. He was very well prepared, and I'm not. But we just want to offer a convenient shopping experience for our guests. Right now, some of the guests that I speak with on a regular basis tell me that on Sundays they are going to a different town before 12, and we don't experience the same rush at noon that we once did prior to the House Bill 155 being passed. So I think it would be a little bit better as far as making it easier for our consumer to come in and get what they need. And that's all I really had to say. I'm not as prepared as Walter.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Josh Robertson, 975 Louisville, Vienna Road. I hadn't actually come prepared to say anything, but hearing the words of Walter and the gentleman from the Food Line, when the House bill passed, we were pretty excited as residents of Louisville. And, you know, I'm not somebody that wakes up typically on a Sunday morning and thinks, you know, I can't wait till 10 o'clock to have a drink. But there is that occasion that comes up that we have guests come in from out of town, and it's a Sunday morning. It's different from maybe the normal one. And maybe we're going to have a football, you know, cookout or something like that. And I find myself in the grocery store before noon, and it's weird that at 11:30 I can't buy something to take to a cookout that's going to start at noon. We have, in fact, taken our business outside of the town limits for that very reason. And so while the gentleman from Lowe's Food, Walter, mentions that maybe the town's not losing some business, I would argue, in fact, just as a citizen of Louisville, that I think that we are losing a considerable amount, because I can go right outside the town limits at 11 o'clock, let's say, and, on a Sunday morning, special occasion, and that's where we're spending our money. I was surprised. We went to Elkin a few weeks ago, and sure enough, Elkin has passed the brunch bill. And, you know, one of the things that brought my family to Louisville is we're a small town feel with very forward-thinking, progressive ideas. And I think it's incumbent upon us to consider the fact that economically that we're watching dollars lose you know, from Louisville. We're watching them go outside the town limits. And so just please take that into consideration as you're considering this, what we're calling the brunch bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
My name is Susan Linker, and I live at 814 Reynolds Road in Louisville. The only thing I really need to say tonight, I think, is I hope that this will be separated out between a debate about the abuse of alcohol, which it has nothing to do with, and the show of appreciation that we have for a very good corporate citizen here in Lowe's Foods. And I hope you all will show your appreciation and your support for this business. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Very good. Thank you for your thoughtful considerations. There's also forms on the back table, should you wish to leave written comments, that we'll enter into the record as well. Okay, Josh, we have a public hearing tonight. You want to give us the primer on that?
Which one? I'm sorry.
You put the map on the
I'm
screen?
sure. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. There you go.
So, behind you, or in front of you, wherever you may be sitting, the map here is for a zoning jurisdiction change. L084 was heard by the planning board last night, actually. They did approve this, recommended it to you unanimously for approval of changing the zoning jurisdiction from county to town zoning. The district will stay the same. It is RS40 in county, and they are wanting to stay the same at RS40 within town limits. The property, everything you see in yellow is property that is inside the town of Louisville. The gentleman that's requesting annexation, you heard this annexation petition, I think at your last meeting in March, and it was annexed in the town of Louisville. They are requesting it now to be given the appropriate zoning category. He owns a couple other pieces around this property, and it just made sense for him to bring everything in to the town of Louisville.
Very good. Any questions for Josh? For a public hearing, any questions for Josh? Very good. We're going to open the public hearing on the changing the zoning jurisdiction of the property off Twin Oaks Lake Drive. Anybody here to speak in opposition or in or in, what's the opposite? In favor of. I figured there's a longer word that I could use with more syllables, but in favor of or in opposition to this request. Anyone here to speak in support of or in opposition to? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Singer makes the motion to approve. Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's unanimous. Ms. Walker, you have some appointments for us, please.
Yes. Excuse me. Appointment order 2018-006 will be appointing Peyton Martin to the Louisville Student Leadership Committee.
Council members?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Franklin makes the motion. Ms. Gallman makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's unanimous. Ms. Walker?
Appointment order 2018-007 will be appointing Cynthia Kiger to the Louisville Beautification Committee.
Second.
Ms. Mock makes the motion. Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. That's unanimous. Ms. Walker?
The last is appointment order 2018-008, appointing Gray King to the Public Safety Advisory Committee.
Council members?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Goldman makes the motion. Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That is unanimous. And ladies and gentlemen, on your appointments tonight, thank you so much for volunteering your time to be part of the Louisville community and serve on these important boards and committees. As we've said many times, and it's probably something that you're tired of hearing us saying, but Louisville truly is unique in one respect, and that's our boards and committees have an active role and a meaningful role in guiding the future of the town. Items that are heard before the boards and committees advance to the council. Majority of the time, and there are rare occasions when we refer items brought to the council back to our committees for consideration first. These are all volunteers, they're all residents of the community, and we thank them for their service because we could not function as a town without you. Josh, I think you have the first item on our new business.
So this is Resolution 2018020, fixing the date of a public hearing on L083, which is a rezoning request from South Creek Development to rezone property at 4989 and 4999 Stires Ferry Road. It's currently zoned RS9, residential single family, and they are petitioning to rezone to RM12S, which is a residential multifamily district, for the next meeting, May the 10th, 2018.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes a motion. Mr. Smith makes the second to approve a public hearing for Thursday, May 10th at 7:30. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That is unanimous. Ms. Walker?
Yes, in your packet, you have information on the declaration of withdrawal for, from Carl Stimson Builders for right-of-way on Pine Trails Road. I believe I gave you that information at the briefing last week. And this is over 15 years old that the right-of-way had been dedicated. Bo, would you like to talk about that first before we go into this?
Just very briefly, the statute, first of all, as full disclosure, the beneficiary of this road withdrawal will ultimately be Mr. Charles and Mrs. Shirley Pitts, and I happen to represent them, so I wanted to disclose that fact to the council. We disclosed it last week. This is handled under North Carolina General Statute Section 136-96, and as Joyce said, when a road dedication is made on a plat and the road is not opened within 15 years, then the statute indicates that it is conclusively presumed that the town, or in this case it had been the state, abandons its interest in the road dedication, and so it just kind of sits there. This all occurred well before the incorporation of the town of Louisville, and it is only being now acted upon. So the only thing that will be for you to find tonight is that this is not part of a thoroughfare plan, which it is not.
Council members, any questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion. Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. Hank, you have the next item.
Okay, next is consideration of ordinance 2018-028 for the reconsideration of Senate Bill 155, allowing the sale of alcoholic beverages before noon on Sundays at licensed premises.
Very good. Council members, this will be the second or third time we visited this issue in our briefings and at our previous council meeting. Or do we have any questions for Hank or Bo?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Franklin makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. May we see a show of hands, please? All those in favor first, please. Okay, that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those opposed? 1, 2, 3. Ms. Walker, you have a count on that?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
and I
that
just
motion
wanna
passes
put them-
4-3. Thank you very much. Pam, you have a budget ordinance for us.
We have ordinance 2018-026, amending budget ordinance 2017-020 in the amount of $25,000 to fund the contract for the Little Mermaid production.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes the motion. Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous.
And then we have resolution 2018-024, approving the contract for the August production of the Little Mermaid in the amount not to exceed $25,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Third.
Four.
We'll give Mr. Smith the motion, and I believe Ms. Goldman the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. Hank, got some contracts for us.
Okay, next is resolution 2018-025. This would award a contract for fireworks display to Hale Artificier Incorporated in an amount of $12,800. That would be for this year's fireworks display.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Monk makes the motion, Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? As Mr. Zinger would say, just make them bigger
Bigger
and
and
louder
higher.
and higher.
Higher,
Yeah.
bigger and higher, baby.
Very good.
Go for it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that is unanimous.
Next is resolution 2018-026, awarding a contract for telephone services to Windstream to bring the town telephone system, and it's basically a leased system, to current levels. We have a current lease that is expiring in July. This lease is a 3-year lease that will be replacing that system. The expected cost has one-time cost of $1,300 with expected monthly payments of $1,008.79 over a 3-year period.
Any questions for the manager?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion, Ms. Mock makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that is unanimous.
Okay. Next will be consideration of resolution 2018-027, awarding a contract for internet services to Windstream to bring town's internet service to current levels. Currently, the town has about a contract for internet speeds of about 3 megs coming into the building. That is a very old speed, and it's time to upgrade. We are asking you to entertain a contract with Windstream to bring a dedicated fiber connection into Town Hall of 25 megs in and out for the town's own use for it. Expected cost of this will be under a 3-year contract at $350 per month.
Ms. Mock makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion?
Yes, please, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Will there be joining, or that's not the right word, but will there be other budget amendments to cover this, or this fits in what we currently budgeted?
It fits in with what we've got currently budgeted.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Call the question.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. And those of you watching at home or are attending this meeting on Facebook, you notice there's about a 35 or 40-second delay. When we get our new broadband and internet speed, you will not have that delay. You will be real-time with us. Very good. Hank, our budget ordinance for the Moser House property.
Yes, this is ordinance 2018-029, amending budget ordinance 2017-020 in an amount of $1,200 for the survey of the Moser House property. This, as we discussed last week in our briefing, is to have the town be able to get an official survey for a piece of property that was donated to the town some time ago. We don't have any good survey map of it indicating the boundary lines and corners of the property, nor do we have anything indicating what is on that property. This is a contract in an amount not to exceed $1,200 that will provide the town of Louisville with a survey.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion?
I have a question,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's only because this is the property currently located right next to the funeral home.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And I know while we might have cost in looking at the property from a survey standpoint, when the funeral home was placed in, there was underground tanks. And according to the Diener records, it shows that the overflow from those tanks ran back towards the Moser property. So I would want to make sure that we include maybe a little research back on that Diener report, if there's anything underground that also goes with this property. So 1,200 might not be enough if we have to do further research on that.
This will just be for the survey and not for the environmental,
Yeah.
at least at this time. But it may locate some, it may raise some issues during the course of the survey. I don't think so, because this will be a surface survey, right?
We have the UST that we expect to find too.
Okay, and there may be an underground storage tank that we will locate, but that will be noted on the survey.
Yeah, just making you aware that I know that that's, in the original report, it showed the overflow went that direction.
We'll make sure our survey team knows that and understands that and does some soil pull.
Well, soil pull and environmental is not a part of the survey. This is just purely marking what's there.
We might have more to come on this piece.
I think this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, my experience with Diener in this kind of situation is that they would have exhaustively checked that out. They don't wait and say, oh, well, that's on the other property kind of thing. They would be all over it.
Well, the only thing that occurred at the time when the funeral home was put in was that any piece of property that was within 1,500 feet of the funeral home had to go on city water.
Right.
So they did not address anything else that was underground other than the wells had to be converted to city water. We were part of that, so that's why I know.
Ma'am, in my experience for past situations, you're exactly right with it. This is traditionally only a huge problem if you are dealing with a piece of property that may have contamination that is surrounded on, I forget what as the crow flies is, with people being served with wells. I think everybody in this location is being served with the city water.
They are now, yes.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Mock, for that contribution. Any further discussion? Entertain a motion?
Motion approved. We already had a motion.
We
in a
had
second.
one.
I do. That was during discussion. Very
Just
good.
need to
Call the
vote.
question. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That was approved with a double motion. Okay. New item, ladies and gentlemen, we move through these items relatively quickly. This is not the first time we've seen them. We have a briefing session the first Thursday of every month, and that time we get extensive briefings on all of these items that come before us. So this evening, we really have had a chance, a week, to do our research, to reach our own conclusions. So when we move through this, we're not moving through it without the proper amount of study and deliberation that occurs at our briefing, in between our briefing and now. With the exception of this next item, which we added to the agenda, Hank, do you and George want to give us the update on the paving?
I'll go ahead and read the resolution, and then if there are any questions, maybe Mr. Hauser can take those. Before you this evening for your consideration is Resolution 2018-028 of the Town of Louisville Council awarding contract for single surface treatment on various paving roads. This contract will authorize a single service treatment to Hills Paving and Construction Incorporated of Louisville for an amount not to exceed $181,469. And this is for the above-named roads. These were Lasley Forest Road, Shallowford Reserve Drive, and
was it.
That's it. Okay, thank you. I was looking for more.
Very good. George, anything that you want to add?
No, just trying to keep within budgetary limits that we had, and we had to look at these roads for a little while, and it's time to do it.
Very good. Council members, any questions?
Ma- but
Yeah, I think we all might have some.
That's why we opened it up.
Start off. Both of these neighborhoods are one way in, one way out neighborhoods. So, and Shalford Reserve is a relatively new neighborhood. Lasley Forest is not that old of a neighborhood, but it's a little more established. And they don't have a lot of through, obviously, any through traffic, heavy trucks, things of that nature that would destroy roads and so forth, if you will, other than potentially our garbage trucks. And I'm not sure Shalford Reserve has a lot of our garbage trucks going down to pick up individual receptacles, if you will. And riding around, you know, we didn't have an opportunity to see these potential streets, if you will, were not named as of last week at our briefing meeting, and so I have not had an opportunity to actually travel on these streets. And I'm just going to tell you, I don't think that we ought to approve this contract at this point in time on these two particular streets. I think there's other streets out here that have got a lot more problems, and that we could do a better job in spending this kind of money than these two neighborhoods.
Council members?
With these roads being newer, I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they met Louisville standards when they were brought in to town, I would assume.
Yes, sir.
I'll make one additional comment before we move forward. I always thought Shalford Reserve was a private road in and out, I'll be quite honest with you.
There is a, Mr. Franklin, there is a portion of that towards the end of it that is private, but the rest of it is public.
Well,
And I would say also, I confirmed this with Mr. Hauser, we had done recently, I think over the last year, a pavement condition report, and these roads were identified and for their necessities based on their scoring on that report as well.
Council members, additional discussion?
I'm like Fred and Jeff, I'm a little more, I'm not as concerned over Lasley Forest, because it's been established neighborhood for a while. I'm more concerned over Shalford Reserve in the fact that that neighborhood has continued to have some build out. I think it's finally built out, but some of this is probably contributed to the build out, and yet we're footing the bill. I'm kind of thinking back to when we took in Ridgecrest. We didn't take all of that into consideration until we met a certain build out percentage. Just making a statement here that we might want to consider that in the future if we're getting a bill this close to a project being finished, that all of a sudden now we've got a road condition.
George?
If I can address this. I don't know if anybody remembers when Shalford Reserve went in, but it's probably been every bit of 10 years. And when it did, there was a base layer that went down, and then they came back with an overlay. Over time, it has degraded, and we do have garbage trucks that go down Shalford Reserve, Woodside Trail, Knoll Court, the whole neighborhood. The trash trucks do go in there. The area that I'm having resurfaced is from Shalford Road down to Woodside Drive. It's just that portion. The rest of it was going to be crack poured. So it is, I mean, if you go and look at it, it's showing deterioration and lifespan on asphalt. You do good to get 12 years out of it. And like I said, it's been there for a while. And as far as Lasley Forest goes, there are a lot of issues with it on edge crack, and I've been doing maintenance on it for a while, going in patching. And some of the areas in there that I've got to go in now and even do a full depth patch, especially like in the intersections and stuff. But it warrants the maintenance that I'm putting before you. But it's your pleasure, but I just thought I need to bring that up. Those roads, they, in Shallowford Reserve, like I said, this is just the main road coming in from Shallowford Road. And the rest of them will be crack poured, and I've got a couple of patches that's in Shallowford Reserve as well. And I have tried to work with the contractor. It's changed hands several times.
Yes, it has.
And I've tried working with the people that has taken it over, and they've kind of washed their hands of it. So the town has taken the roads over, so it's up to the town to maintain them.
Any other thoughts, council?
This is the blended approach that we've been doing, and and let me tell you, that has saved us a lot of money over time. And I know you've been a part of that from the very beginning, so I trust George's judgment on this.
George, are these on schedule or are they behind schedule?
I would say they're on schedule. There are some other roads that I wanted to look at, and I kind of backed up on them, some being here around the school. It's a bad time to do that while school is in session. So, and then the other ones that I had were in the area of Saddlebrook, where they've been doing the sewer rehab. It's not a good time to do that one either, with construction traffic going in and out. And the other area that I'm looking at, we'll be coming back before you for a budget amendment on that, which is in Arbor Run. That's a lot of structural failure that's going on there, and it's going to take quite a bit more than just going in and laying asphalt. So I would say it's on schedule, but there are several roads that I've looked at, and these fit the bill.
Thank you.
So George, you think that this would get another, what, hopefully wear and tear, 10, 12 years out of this?
At least on the
Materials
overlay.
maybe improved a little bit with paving? I mean, looking at asphalt? Okay. I trust your judgment too, George.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Entertain a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Mock makes a motion, Mr. Smith makes a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
We have 6 affirmatives, and Mr. Franklin has a negative or a nay. That does pass 6-1. Thank you, folks. Hank, events at Charlotte Square, please.
We've got 2 events coming up towards the end of this month. On Friday, the 27th, we will have our first movie night. We are going to be showing E.T. And then the next day, Saturday, there will be a recycling event on North Street by the Recycling Committee.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the year that we do the recycling of the TVs and televisions? Is that this year or is that next year? We did it like 2 years ago, and we were gonna put it like on an every other year.
I'll have to check on that. In the past, that's not been on a set schedule. It's been, we get one and it's just went up to us to be able to do it. But I'll have to consult our new contract for that.
'Cause I know we didn't do one last year, because I thought it was like on an every other year. Okay,
Very good. You'll have answers for us in May.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hank, you want to go through our approvals at briefing and action?
Okay, approvals, we have none approval. And we went through the manager's report and then the clerk's report. I'm going to let the clerk go over her own report.
Oh, I just wanted to remind everyone that what used to be Town Hall Day is now called Town and State Dinner. And it will be held on Tuesday, May 29th in Raleigh at 5:30 p.m. And if anyone can attend, I need to know so we can send the application in.
That is town and state and not town and state.
Yes, Town and State.
And state. dinner.
Yes. Not state, yes. Sorry.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted to do was to, since we're on TV Live, was to remind everyone about our upcoming budget workshops, 4/16, 4/23, 5/3, 5/7, 6/7, and finally, hopefully approval on 6/14. And I will remind everyone that if Pam has completed all of her work, we may not have to use all of those dates.
Very good. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are encouraged to attend our budget workshops. This is, after all, your money, and your observation of that process to see how we work is greatly appreciated and certainly welcomed. Dates on our website.
As far as I know, they are, but our website has been very wonky lately, so we'll check it again.
Okay, we'll check and see. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second opportunity for general public comments at this meeting. If you're in the audience who would like to come up and share your thoughts with the council, this is a great time to do it. Anybody wish to share their thoughts? Anything for the council? Mary Kay, I'm
Yes.
surprised you're not taking advantage of this.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just clarification, and this is directed toward our attorney, as the actions that was taken on our agenda for 9C tonight, the new business on the ordinance approving the reconsideration for Senate Bill 155 for
Yes, sir.
Walter and the gentleman from Food Line. Are they permitted this Sunday, or is there any additional paperwork or this type of stuff? And they do not, I'm sure, want to jeopardize their permits and licenses, so can you speak to that?
I'm not aware of any further requirements that will take place other than the passage of the ordinance, which has been done. I guess it'll be signed, but this should be taken care of prior to Sunday of this week.
Yes,
They should be able to
It goes into effect, I think at the bottom, we said it goes into effect immediately. So that means they can do it Sunday, and I will be advising the ABC board tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Franklin, for raising that issue. Council comments? Anything before we adjourn?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
To the issue of the alcohol, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, when I was a kid, you had to do everything by 11 o'clock on Saturday night. I mean, everything. Everything was closed on Sunday. And so I don't know that we've progressed, but we've changed. And that's part of it happens. The one thing that Walter did say that I have brought up before that we really need to pay attention to, you guys, and I'm going to beat this horse until we do, but it was not surprising to me to have him say that his fastest growing part of his business is e-commerce. And so retailers in general, and I think there's always going to be, people are always going to want to go to get their food or know where it's coming from. So I don't know that that's going to change. But if you look at the retail space in our town that's not filled, and you look at these big stores like Toys R Us and Babies R Us, a lot of what is impacting them is online shopping. And so the reason I bring that up is we're going to have to come up with, I think we're going to have to give some thought to, one, how much, and this goes the same with commercial space too, with offices. People can work from home now because of all this electronic stuff. Businesses don't have to keep getting bigger and bigger spaces. They can hire more and more people and have them work from home. You know, my son is going to college from his bedroom. And so, you know, anyway, I just want to make note of that because I think we're going to have to think about how much space we have like that, and also think in terms of, you know, what do we do, or is there anything we can do to help our retailers? Because retail's a tough business before we throw e-commerce on it. E-commerce is really changing everything. And so anyway, I brought it up before to the council, and when he said that, that was not at all surprising to me that was the fastest part of his business.
Thank you, Mr. Zinger. Council members, any other comments?
Go along with what Jeff was saying. One of the things that we might have more of an immediate need, and Walter probably can speak to this, is even though his e-commerce is growing, that spot is probably somewhere in the parking lot, not at his front door where they need to pick them up because of the fire lanes and things like that. So when we think businesses like that in the future, we need, if they're an e-commerce business of a grocery store type, how we look at where that service is going to be offered.
You're probably talking about revisiting the dreaded drive-through. Which those of us who've been around for a while have had a lot of those conversations.
Thank you, Ms. Mock. Any other council members' comments? Would like to remind everyone that next Wednesday, the 18th, we have our first meeting of the new community center advisory planning. I'll call it an ideation, and I don't know if that's a real word or not, but it's a place where we want your ideas on the kinds of services and programs and facilities that we should be considering at our new community center. Ms. Gallman and I will be attending that meeting, and I think we have met previously and are excited about the possibilities that this is going to bring to our town. If you are at all interested in our community center, in the programs and services that we extend to our community, we hope you will be part of that meeting. We should meet probably 4 times over the next year, and we absolutely encourage you to be there. Rachel, are you ready for your report?
Great report, well done.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we break away, since it's a month from today, all the ones that are old and gray like I am and love Eagles music, we have a great show coming to the town square on May the 12th, Saturday, May the 12th. And I hope that you will attend. The reason I want to get it out tonight is because we're on Channel 6 and so forth.
Very good. Any other comments? With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Rachel, you're off the hook.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mrs. Mock makes the motion, Mr. Frankel makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the meeting tonight. Those of you watching at home, thank you for your participation. We value your involvement in Louisville town government. We are adjourned.